Hello, and welcome to One Cool Thing, PC Mag's daily show where we talk to you about one cool thing that we've been testing out here in PC Labs. I'm Tom Brandt, this is Sasha Segan, and today for you we have the new Amazon Kindle Oasis e-reader.
Yeah, so the new Amazon Kindle Oasis e-reader is the best and one of the most expensive e-readers we've ever seen. This is a beautiful, beautiful way to read books and relax without having too many other things going on. And it's actually a product that I really want, and yet that, like a couple of other products I've reviewed recently, I've been struggling with and I'd really like your help and your opinions on this. So please put your opinions in the comments section, because I've been struggling with how important is price when it comes to consumer electronics. Are there situations, and I'll call out more products later, are there situations where you can say, this is the best product, it's just too expensive? And that's what I've been struggling with this new Kindle Oasis, and for that matter, with last year's Kindle Oasis, this one too.
Right, and basically the thing with the Kindle Oasis is that we're not talking about double price or tens of dollars more. This is significally more.
It's double the price. It's double the price of the Kindle Paperwhite.
Than the Kindle Paperwhite.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Which is 120.
Which is 120. This is so. Let me walk you through some of the features of this new Kindle Oasis compared to last year's Kindle Oasis, and we'll talk about why this is the best e-reader out there for most Americans right now. And notice I say most Americans because we'll get to the niche groups who the Kindle Oasis wouldn't be right for. Look how thin it is. There's a bump on the back which makes a really nice handle, and the e-reader can be held in your right or left hands. It should automatically turn itself upside down. It has every time I've tried it in the past.
Is there a lock on the?
No. Oh no,
so
there it
yeah,
goes.
It
just turned itself. Yep,
right?
Turns itself upside down. This bump contains the battery. It's a significantly larger battery than in last year's Kindle Oasis. Last year's Kindle Oasis basically needed to be put in a battery case to have the kind of month-long battery life that you expect for a Kindle. This year's Kindle Oasis, the case does not have a battery because the battery itself is big enough for your month to 6 weeks of battery life.
It's simply a magnet that snaps onto the back.
Yeah. Now, the physical page turn buttons. I love these.
Yeah, you have a physical connection to the book.
Exactly. And I love the fact that you don't have to touch the screen and maybe get whatever's on your fingers on the screen. And also, compared to the $200 Kindle Voyage, the Kindle Voyage has fake buttons. They're kind of capacitive buttons with some haptic feedback. I just love the nice clickiness of these buttons. Once more, as you said, it's physical. And then, of course, this Kindle Oasis is larger. This is the first 7-inch Kindle. Previous Kindles used a 6-inch screen. And in my experience looking at books, this gets you an additional paragraph per page. And that reduces page turns. And page turns are, of course, the most annoying thing about using an e-reader, because sometimes the page will flash and that's a little weird.
Right, yeah. And also, the thing is, both of these are a bit smaller than, say, a first-run paperback or a first-run hardback book.
Oh, definitely.
So you're getting a bit more screen real estate here, which, as you said, you're going to be turning pages less amount of time and probably, save your your thumbs from.
Now, in terms of weight, this is lighter than the Paperwhite. It is not as light as the basic $79 Kindle, but we actually don't recommend that one.
Why not?
Because the screen is too low res and there's no front light. And we find that the 300 ppi screens that you're seeing in the Kindle Paperwhite and up right now, and the front light, which you see in the higher end Kindles, really, really add to your reading experience, let you read better in the dark, are easier on the eyes, all of that.
And they have excellent contrast too, right?
Yes.
When you switch to night mode.
Yes. Yeah. Now, there's a new mode on this one, by the way, which is white text on a black screen,
right.
If you like that.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I need to get to the big feature of this Kindle Oasis, which I almost forgot, which is shocking because it's the biggest feature, which is that it's waterproof. And this is the first waterproof Amazon Kindle. And I tested it in various water and goo situations.
and
it can be drenched, it can be dunked, it can be soaked, and you can pour chocolate sauce on it and wipe the chocolate sauce off. You don't generally want to use soap because soap in general damages screen coatings. But if whatever you're using, whatever you got on it is relatively water soluble, then you can clean it off and it'll be fine.
Right. This is huge for people who do what you see in ads on TVs for e-readers. Use them by the pool, at the beach, even in the bathtub, right?
Yeah, and we're a big e-reader family at my house. We all read on Kindles. We have a lot of Kindle books. If you look in my Kindle library, yes, I will get to your question in a moment. If you look in my Kindle library, come on, I want to get thumbnails.
Is this your Kindle library?
Why don't I have thumbnails? Yeah. Get.
So here we have.
There we go. Here's the thumbnails. Here's the thumbnails. If you look in my Kindle library, there's a lot of like YA fantasy books because that's my daughter. So we all use the Kindles, and definitely wanting to use them in the tub that's a major use case. Looks like we have some questions out there.
How is the Audible side of it?
Okay, so there's a new feature here that I don't particularly care about, because I don't think it's a big deal. And that is that this Kindle plays Audible audiobooks, but it doesn't have a speaker.
And
so you need to,
no headphone jack.
Right, so you need to pair it to Bluetooth headphones or a Bluetooth speaker to listen to your Audible. And that gets me to the point where, why aren't you just using your phone?
Right, because you can actually have the Audible app or the Kindle app and
on your phone.
Yeah.
And so you're using whatever your headset is on your phone and whatever your speaker is on your phone, and you're listening to your Audible audiobooks that way. And because this is Kindle, everything will be synced up. So you're listening to the Audible audiobook, it syncs back up to the Kindle book on your e-reader, it syncs to the Kindle app on your phone. That all works out. So I don't really see, and tell me if you disagree, I don't really see the use for the Audible functionality here.
And it's possible that Amazon kind of agrees with you and maybe realize that now that they have a better battery technology and redesigned
They also
space,
own Audible.
They own Audible. They figured, well, this is a nice additional feature. It doesn't cost us anything in terms of design or
No, it costs them a little to put the Bluetooth in there.
Yeah, I guess. So there is a minimal additional cost, but it's a nice feature to have if, say, you don't have a smartphone and you have a Kindle.
Right. And there's a situation where I can see people who are Kindle-centric reading a book and then going to their car and pairing the Kindle's Bluetooth with their car audio system, playing the audiobook on their drive, and then picking it up with reading on the Kindle. And that is the way I see the Audible functionality working. But otherwise, not such a big deal use case-wise, as opposed to functionality-wise. Let's take another question.
Does it have a pen stylus so I can write notes or
No. Absolutely not.
No Kindles do.
This is an e-reader, not an e-writer.
Right. I mean, the point of an e-reader, as for someone who doesn't use an e-reader, who reads physical books, is really to disconnect from all the other electronic distractions.
Now, that said, you can highlight things. And that's a functionality that Kindles have. You can swipe your finger over something to highlight something and note it to refer to later.
Let's see if we can do that.
No, there is no like real annotation functionality. For that, you need a real tablet or the Remarkable or like the Sony digital paper. Those are more kind of academic note-taking tablets and annotating tablets. Let's take another question.
It's still wired charging, right?
Oh yeah, it's not wireless charging. Yeah, it's micro USB charging.
Yeah, there's actually a micro USB port right here, which, if you do have USB-C on your new laptop, you can probably buy a different cable to attach it to that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you use your iPhone adapter.
Now I want to get to a couple of the downsides of Kindle-ness and of the Kindle ecosystem, because I think people out there have to be aware of this, which is Kindles are for reading Kindle books. And you can read Amazon's Kindle books on a Kindle. You can read public library books on a Kindle if the public library supports the Kindle format. But if you are a kind of open source free software kind of person, or you live in a country that doesn't have a big established Amazon ecosystem,
I have the perfect thing for that.
You want a Kobo. And so we don't recommend the Kobo's Kobo is basically the primary Amazon competitor in terms of e-readers. Barnes & Noble still has a little bit of a presence. The Nook Lowlight isn't bad, but they don't have a broad range, and Kobo really goes up and down the whole range. And for instance, this is the Kobo Aura 1. You notice it's really big and it's waterproof.
Right.
Okay, and they have the Aura H2O, which is slightly smaller and waterproof. They really have a range.
So they've been bringing some of the features in the Oasis that they're
Have
already
already
on
been
the
on Kobo. Have already been on Kobo. But the fact is that Amazon has nearly a monopoly on e-reader purchased books in the United States. That said, there are people out there who want to read books in EPUB format. They want to read comics in CBR format. They want to read stuff that they've gotten in other formats. And you can use third-party software to convert that stuff into Kindle format, or you can email PDFs to your Kindle and then read them on the Kindle.
Right.
But to read those formats natively, if you're willing to be outside the Amazon ecosystem, that's what Kobo is for.
Yeah, and it's unsurprising. That's been Amazon's Kindle strategy all along, is to get you to, they provide an email address for you to send in your non-formatted books and things like that.
Right.
They also will give you a discount if you want to see ads on the screen.
The thing is, the Amazon reformatting algorithm sometimes does not work terribly well. You get some weird kerning and stuff.
Yeah,
let's take another question.
Can Audible mode and read mode run at the same time, or are they separate?
Audible is separate from what I've seen. When I have been reading an Audible book, now I believe there is a situation in which if you own the Kindle book and the Audible book purchased separately, you can sync them up.
How can you sync?
Like you can have the Audible book read along.
Oh, okay, I see.
But I believe I've read about that feature. But I was testing this with separate Audible books.
Right.
And they don't include the Kindle book.
Yeah, and if you don't, this is another situation where you would simply, pair your Audible app on your phone, to the car or speaker, and listen that way, and then whoever else can read on the. Yeah.
Let's take another question.
Why is there no color display?
Because no one has been able to make a color e-ink reader that works reliably at any sort of reasonable price ever.
Yeah, and ultimately, think about what the kind of color books are: encyclopedias, children's books.
It's actually comics.
Comics.
Yeah, that's the big feature for color. But so a couple of years ago, there was a big boom in attempted color e-ink technologies, which I did a lot of research in. Qualcomm's Mirasol. There was e-ink color. None of those have broken through because they all have really low manufacturing yields. They end up costing a lot to make. It's just something it's just a technology that didn't really happen.
And to me, the problem with reading a comic or an encyclopedia or something on this is it's small. I mean, many of the color books.
Now that said, so I did try to read some comics on here, and I should talk about books that have like charts and graphs, other things that are in color. They do render really nicely into shades of gray on this device. No, I don't know exactly how many shades of gray. It is on the project sheet. I have not memorized the number of shades of gray, but they do render really nicely and look really good. Here, I'll show you one if I can, but the screen is still slightly too small, in my view, for reading comics. You really want an 8-inch screen, which means that you end up getting to a tablet, and that's really where the color reading has gone. The color reading has gone to tablets.
Yeah. Use your iPad or other tablet to read it.
Or your Kindle, or your Amazon Fire tablet.
Yes, right, your Amazon Fire tablet.
Exactly. Let's take another question.
How well does it handle PDFs?
Mixed grill. And this is typical for Kindle. You send a PDF to the Kindle email address. It reformats it. Let me show you one. Here is the Constitution of the U.S. with explanatory notes, or an earnings presentation. And
Both exciting.
yeah. So you see here, this is a PDF where they've done a pretty good job, but what they end up doing is basically turning the PDF into a series of images.
Yeah.
And so, this text should probably be expanded. It should probably be reformatted a little more sensitively.
And if you're coming from a smartphone, you can't actually. There's no.
You can't.
No pinching to.
You can't pinch to zoom.
in.
Oh no, you can pinch to zoom. Sorry,
you
you
can?
can pinch to zoom.
Okay.
So yeah, I pinched to zoom.
Okay. It's just not quite as responsive, but it still works.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, PDFs are okay, but they don't take advantage of the full range of Kindle features.
So speaking of features, the other thing that you can do with the Kindle Oasis is download wirelessly via a LTE connection, right?
Yeah, and that's true. That's true about a lot of the recent Kindles. Now there are two different models of the Kindle Oasis. There's an 8 gig model and a 32 gig model.
Okay.
The 32 gig model comes with the 4G wireless. Look, here's a nope. Yeah, here's a PDF of a PowerPoint. You see how it looks. Basically, it's an image capture.
Right.
So yeah, there's an 8 gig model and a 32 gig model.
Why would you need the 32 gig model?
If you have a lot of Audible audiobooks. That's the thing.
Audiobooks. Take
And then the
much more.
32 gig model is the one that comes with the 4G. So you get that if you want the 4G. And it starts at $249 and goes up from there.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So basically, you maxed out. Let's say you remove the ads and you want the 4G connection.
let me see.
What's that
I
gonna
wrote
set you
that.
back?
I wrote that up in the review. Let's get through this interstitial here. I wrote that price. Okay, so starts at $249. Removing the ads costs $20. 32 gigs in cellular costs $30.
Right.
So you can go $249. Removing the ads takes you to $269, and then if you want the full deal, it's $299.
Now we're getting into holiday season. Are we going to?
And look, here's a comic. Here's a page of a comic. It's Saga. It was a good comic, and you see the grays. They're very subtle. But obviously you're not getting color, and the text is a little too small for people who don't have really sharp eyes.
So I was going to ask, is Amazon going to discount the Kindle Oasis?
No, I doubt it.
So they haven't done any holiday specials.
I don't think they're going to do a holiday special on a new product.
No.
On this new product, at least. Now, I want to get to a conversation that I want to engage you folks with, because I
Price.
want to know, price. I want to know what you think, because over the past couple of weeks, I've been running into products that are really expensive for their category. And I don't know, I genuinely don't know whether to draw a line. And these products are this $250 to $300 e-reader, but also the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, which is over $900, and the iPhone 10, which starts at $1,000.
Yeah.
And now what these all have in common is that they are the best in their class, but they are far more expensive than what you're used to from a product in that class. I mean, in terms of smartphones, a premium smartphone generally should have a base price around $700. That's been true for several years now. And now we're seeing these $900,000 smartphones.
Now, that said, I will make the kind of the argument that people are willing to pay that amount for a smartphone. The iPhone 10 pre-orders have been, off the charts. And so I think there is demand. I think what you're asking, though, is a bit different, is does it really deserve that, extravagant price?
Yes. And this is, I think one of the hardest things to do as a product reviewer is to price out the value of features and to say this is better, but is it worth $300 more better?
Right. And now if you take a bath every day and you read for half an hour, say, in the bath,
and
it's worth it for you.
Yeah. If you were sick of putting your Kindle in a plastic bag, which I've heard is Amazon's official advice for what you should do with a Kindle Paperwhite in the bath.
Okay. Preferably not a freezer bag with the labels on it.
Yeah, but I could see, if you use this on a daily basis and that waterproofing really makes a difference to you, okay, yes, that's a value.
Okay, so I think we haven't answered the question totally, but absent your feedback, what we kind of determined is that there is no one size fits all. Some people, it's easily worth $250
Right.
for an
But how about
Oasis.
those $1,000 smartphones? Does anyone out there have a comment on that? No comments on the $1,000 smartphones?
You're all busy.
I mean, me personally, I'm not going to buy a $1,000 phone.
That's the thing. So, I think a lot of people wouldn't buy a $1,000 phone even if it was perfect. And no device is perfect.
And then everyone else is busy unwrapping their iPhone 10, and they're too busy to comment on why they bought it.
And this is our challenge. So that's something I've been thinking about a lot for the past couple of weeks. But so yes, so the new Kindle Oasis starts at $249. If you are someone or you know someone who loves reading and does not mind buying their books primarily from Amazon, or is a fluent user of Caliber software, I'll just leave that there.
Yes.
And they want the waterproofing. This is really, it's a lovely e-reader. It's really lovely.
So you should check out the full review at pcmag.com, and definitely ask us any other questions you have about e-readers or anything else. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, email, whatever your preference is, and we will be back tomorrow with yet another one cool thing for you. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.